Chers auditeurs,
Dear listeners,
bonjour.
welcome to Comme d'Archi Podcast Season 7.
Saison 7, dans le monde fascinant des architectes.
And in the architectural projects.
Je suis Anne-Charlotte Deponte, passionnée d'architecture et docteur des universités en histoire de l'archi.
I am one of the spokespersons of Anne-Charlotte, who is a PhD in architecture history.
Merci.
Thank you
D'être avec moi aujourd'hui.
to be with us today.
Et
And
maintenant,
now,
lundi en français, place au talent.
and Wednesday, let's talk projects. In English, of course.
Bienvenue dans Comme d'Archi.
Dear listeners, this is Esther speaking on behalf of Anne-Charlotte. I'm very happy to be with you again today after a short pause. Welcome to this new episode of Comme d'Archi. Today, we are sharing a focused synthesis of Anne-Charlotte's interview with Julien Bargeton, president of the French Cité de l'Architecture et du Patrimoine. It is a major cultural institution in France, and through this condensed version, we invite you, our English-speaking listeners, to discover both the place and the vision behind it. In this interview, Julien Bargeton speaks about his background, his personal relationship with architecture, and his vision for the Cité de l'Architecture et du Patrimoine, a national institution dedicated to architecture, heritage, and contemporary creation. His reflections combine personal experience, cultural policy, institutional thinking, and a forward-looking perspective. Throughout, architecture is presented not only as a technical discipline, but as an artistic, social, and civic one. The conversation opens with taste and cooking, approached as forms of memory and transmission. Julien Bargeton recalls his childhood in the Cévennes, a rural region in southern France where his grandparents lived. The garden, the untreated produce, and meals prepared from daily harvests formed a foundational experience. These memories are tied to time, to attention, and to the quality of materials. They quietly inform the way he approaches culture and heritage today. Julien Bargeton then reflects on his academic and professional path. He makes clear that he is neither an architect nor a technical heritage specialist. He studied at Sciences Po and later at the École nationale d'administration, one of France's main schools for senior civil servants, and pursued a career in public service. As a financial magistrate at the Cour des Comptes, France's national audit institution, he emphasizes the importance of responsibility, clarity, and sound management in public cultural institutions. His commitment to culture also took shape through political and institutional roles, notably within the French Senate and the city of Paris. These experiences brought him into close contact with artistic and architectural communities, and with the realities of cultural policy making. Although he never considered becoming an architect, Julien Bargeton developed an early and lasting interest in architecture, particularly through the city of Paris. He describes architecture as a visible language, one that tells the story of past uses, political decisions, and ways of living. Travel and visits to heritage sites further strengthened this sensitivity, deepening his interest in the relationship between history, territory, and the built environment. This relationship now finds its fullest expression at the Cité de l'Architecture et du Patrimoine. Julien Bargeton describes the institution as unique, both in scale and in mission. Located in the Palais de Chaillot, facing the Eiffel Tower, the Cité brings together an internationally significant architecture museum, a major research library, extensive architectural archives, and a school dedicated to training architects specialized in heritage. The building itself reflects several historical layers, shaped by World's Fairs and by the evolution of French cultural policy. Julien Bargeton recalls the legacy of Viollet-le-Duc and the founding ambition of the institution to make architecture understandable through comparison, reproduction, and transmission. Full-scale casts and reconstructions offer visitors an immersive and educational experience. At the same time, he insists that the Cité is not a frozen museum. It is a living place in constant dialogue with contemporary architecture and today's challenges. Its programming balances heritage, contemporary architectural creation, and openness to other artistic fields. Exhibitions, talks, and cross-disciplinary projects invite music, dance, literature, and contemporary art into conversation with architecture. The goal is simple: to make architecture accessible, without simplifying it. The interview also addresses recent and upcoming moments, including the Cité's involvement in the 2024 Olympic Games, educational programs for children, and artistic projects developed in direct dialogue with the collections. Julien Bargeton highlights the importance of exhibitions that engage with urgent issues, particularly the destruction and protection of heritage in times of war. As a public institution, the Cité has a responsibility to make these realities visible, showing destruction but also protection, repair, and reconstruction. The discussion then turns to current debates within architecture itself. Julien Bargeton firmly rejects the idea that architecture is coming to an end. He acknowledges that the role of the architect is changing toward collaboration, reuse of existing buildings, and responses to ecological, social, and regulatory challenges. Architecture remains essential, especially in the face of housing needs and territorial transformation. A central theme of his reflection concerns the relationship between the human body and space. Architecture, he reminds us, is the only art we cannot avoid. It shapes movement, affects sensation, and influences well-being, often without our awareness. This is why mediation matters. When architecture is explained, it becomes accessible and engaging. In closing, Julien Bargeton looks ahead to the future of the Cité de l'Architecture et du Patrimoine, especially as it approaches its 20th anniversary in 2027. He envisions it as a place of encounter, dialogue, and shared reflection, rooted in Paris, yet open to the entire country. He encourages architecture students to fully embrace their discipline and its social role. And he invites the wider public to look more closely at architecture, to engage with it, and to take part in the conversations it generates. Dear listeners, thank you for being with us. We look forward to welcoming you again soon for another episode, in my voice. In the meantime, our English language episodes continue every Wednesday. Take care and goodbye.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to tune in to our previous content on Instagram at Comme d'Archi Podcast. If you like it, make sure to promote the podcast by giving it 5 stars on Apple Podcast and adding a comment, or on any of your favorite podcast platforms. And don't forget to subscribe and listen to all of our episodes for free. See you soon, and until then, take care of yourself.